You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 158. I won't meet anyone like my ex. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, Breakup Coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, beautiful brave hearts. How is everyone doing? I did a poll the other day on Instagram at Breakup Coach Dorothy if you want to come hang out with me. And I asked all of you what you like better, the Braveheart stories or the episodes of me teaching. And you all surprised me. I was for sure like, they've got to be sick of hearing me talk. But I was 100% wrong. The majority of you are loving the teaching episodes, so you can expect a lot more of those to come in the near future. I'm so excited. We've got so many topics to talk about. Also, never be afraid to email me or DM me with any questions that you have or podcast episode ideas that you would love to hear about. I really love hearing from each of you, so it's really amazing when I get to. And I'm also even thinking about creating like a resource where you can search through all of the episodes, because now we have 158. That is a lot of episodes. And so the last time I asked you guys what kind of topics you wanted, a lot of the individuals listed things that I already have episodes on. So that's when I realized like it must be difficult to find the episodes. For me, I have a podcast calendar and an Excel spreadsheet that just outlines every episode, and it's easy for me to just do Control F and then find where the episode is. Versus for you guys, you have to scroll through Spotify or Apple. That's frustrating, right? So I might just find a way to share this document with you guys so that you can see that, and then maybe also make some categories with the correct episodes in it for that category. I don't know. We've got to find some way to catalog this and make it easier for all of you to find everything. So I'm really excited about that. Now, today we are here to talk about the idea that I'll never meet anyone like my ex again. Anyone listening resonate? This is a common thought error that appears after going through a heartbreak. And I see it with many brave hearts. So it's not a problem. We don't have to be upset that we have this thought error. We can catch it. And I'm going to outline everything here in today's episode on how to actually use it to your advantage to catapult your healing journey. So if you're feeling like you're never going to meet someone as amazing as your ex, you are so in the right place. And I want to take a moment and think about this statement just in general, right? The statement of, I won't meet anyone like my ex. Now, if you're struggling with this idea, it's typically because you have an ex that you really see in a good light. You think highly of that person, or you think highly of the connection and the chemistry that you have with that person. And this thought can appear regardless of whether or not you were the one that left or if he or she left you. And I want to take a second, just a moment, for you to consider and ask yourself, do I really want the same person? I won't meet anyone like my ex. Do I really want someone like my ex? And it might be yes and no, right? But most likely, we don't want the same exact person, right? Because if you were the one that left, you chose to leave for a reason. So there's got to be at least one thing you'd like to be different. Maybe you want someone kind of like your ex, but not everything like your ex. And if you were the one who got left, you absolutely don't want the same person. You want someone who wants to be in a relationship with you. That's like a huge component. It doesn't matter how many things they check off on your list if they don't actually want to be with you. Most of us here in this earthly experience that we're having only want to be in relationships with people who want to be in our lives. Not everyone deserves your attention. Let me say that again. Not everyone deserves your attention. Okay? So 100%, we can totally see your ex in a good light. We can say, yes, my ex was a great human. My ex had so many amazing qualities that I loved. And, important and, emphasis on the and I don't want to find someone like my ex. I want to find someone better. I want to find someone better aligned for me than my ex was. Maybe I want to find someone with a lot of the same qualities, but I want to find someone who also wants to be with me. And now here's a really important piece. Ownership. Ownership for really two specific pieces that I'm going to cover today. But from an overall perspective, when we're saying I won't meet anyone like my ex again, what you're really saying and what you're really doing is you're not taking ownership of your feelings and or what you've created in your life. Thoughts create feelings. Welcome. If you are new here and you've never heard that statement, I really suggest that you go back and you check out episodes 1 through 5. Thoughts create feelings. So if those thoughts create feelings and the emotions that you're experiencing, and those feelings fuel action, and that action creates results in your life, you created the result of an amazing human partner, an amazing relationship experience that you love and you admire. And you did that based on how you were thinking, feeling, and showing up. So breaking this down even further into two pieces here. Number one, aren't you the one who found your ex the first time? At some point, you learned how to create that partner in your life as a result. That did not just happen by chance. I promise you, no matter how much it seems like it happened by chance, it did not. How did you find someone so great? Who were you being and how were you thinking of yourself? Maybe you were in an amazing carefree place, gallivanting around, feeling on top of the world and not feeling attached or tied to anything, right? Total freedom. And that attracted the kind of partner that you had. That attracted your ex. Or we've also seen the other end of the spectrum, right? Where maybe you're feeling miserable and really felt poorly about yourself and you were experiencing a lot of fear, and that attracted a different kind of partner. Whatever it was, your thoughts created how you were feeling. Those feelings fueled action or a lack of action, and then created the end result of what kind of partner you were last with, what kind of partner you chose to be in your life. And this is really great news. We now know the formula that creates the people we choose in our life, and now we get to do something with it, which I'll talk about in just a second. But the second piece around ownership is we've also got to recognize that the only reason you think you want to meet someone like your ex is because of the way you felt inside of the relationship or the way you are perceiving how you felt. Because I know you all, some of you were in miserable relationships or you were feeling miserable in the relationship. But now that you're out of it, you're like, it was so great. It wasn't that bad, right? We put those rose-colored glasses on. But the feelings you had in your relationship, if you're thinking, I won't meet anyone like my ex again, I'm assuming you had like really great emotions happening in the relationship. You were feeling really amazing about it. You think that those feelings were happening because of him, because of your ex. But the feelings you had in your relationship were because of the way you were thinking during the relationship, not what your ex was doing or not doing. Because there are people who interact with your ex and they're like, yeah, no, not the kind of person for me. They don't have the same thoughts and feelings, and they therefore don't have the same experience as you. So fire, right? Like you created the amazingness of that relationship based off of how you were thinking. And don't get me wrong, right? some qualities about people or some ways that people show up make it easier for you to have thoughts that create amazing feelings. And maybe you want some of those qualities again, but your ex is not the only person who holds those qualities in the world. So ownership is very important from a place of how did I create this partner in the first place, and how did I create such an amazing relationship experience? And then the second piece that I think is really important to talk about is focus and attention. What you focus on, you create more of. The more you focus on not meeting anyone like your ex again, the more attached you're going to feel. The more attachment you're going to create to your ex, making it extremely difficult to get over your ex. It's hard to get over your ex when you feel like you're attached to that person, or you feel like your future is attached to that person. And it's really hard to build a bigger and better life when you're telling yourself, I'm never going to meet someone as great as my ex. That's when I notice brave hearts comparing new partners to their ex. And I just want you to take a moment and think about, how do I feel when I tell myself I won't meet anyone like my ex again? Right? That creates a lot of emotion like defeat or devastated, clingy, attached, or scared. And a lot of those bigger emotions lead to action like wallowing or doing desperate things or ruminating about what you used to have instead of what you desire to create. Right? Worrying about your future, worst case scenario thinking. And when you're doing all of that, you want to know what you're not doing? You're not creating a partner you desire. Heck, you're not even being the partner you desire, right? You're not out meeting people like your ex because you're not even being the great things you loved about your ex in the first place. What you focus on grows. Focus on what you do desire and how you created what you desired the whole time. Okay, so now we're to the part, right, where it's like, okay, Dorothy, cool, love all of this. What do I do? And I have plenty of action items for you today. I have plenty of next steps and how-tos. So the first thing that we got to do is we got to look at data. Y'all know I'm a data nerd. What are the things in your life that your mind said you'd never be able to do? When you do something the second time, does it normally happen faster? And is the second time you do something normally even better than the first time you did it? I need you to look at the data in your life that provides evidence that you do create the things that you sometimes thought were never even possible. Maybe you went to school. Maybe you figured out how to ride a bike. You passed a class that you thought you'd never pass. You got a job maybe you thought you would never get. You found your ex in the first place. Did you ever think you would find your ex like that? Okay? The second thing I want you to ask yourself is, how did I find my ex in the first place? Who was I being? What created that result? And this is important whether or not you love your ex and think your ex is amazing versus if you don't think your ex is amazing and you're like, I never want to attract that kind of person ever again. How did you find your ex in the first place? Who were you being? Take full ownership. How were you feeling? What were you thinking? What were you thinking about yourself and what were you thinking about your life? And I'm not looking for, were you at a place of, I'm not looking for anything serious. I love exactly where I'm at. Your insufficiency, eagerness for what's to come. What was it that you were feeling and thinking about you in your life that created the outcome of that partner, of your ex? And lastly, what do I actually want? And I cover a lot of this in episode 117, so this might be a follow-up episode for you, but get clear about what you do want so you know what to focus on, because what you focus on grows, right? So what do I actually want in a relationship? And don't get confused with needs versus wants. All humans really need are to pee and poop and eat. Those are like real needs. Everything else is a want. And can we start prioritizing our wants? It's important that you get what you want. It's okay if you authentically want something. Let yourself want those things. Get very clear about what they are, the qualities that you want in a relationship. And sometimes we look at qualities we don't like, and you need to turn that into, what is it that I do want? If I don't like a messy house, maybe I do want a partner who is organized and clean. All right, my brave hearts, remember what you're telling yourself. I won't meet anyone like my ex again. When you're telling yourself that, what you're really doing is not taking responsibility and ownership for how you created your ex in the first place. So not only that, but also, right, you're not taking ownership for the experience you had within the relationship. And when you take ownership of that through looking at the data, examining your thoughts, feelings, and actions pre-ex and during ex, and finally examining what you actually do desire, focusing on what you do want, okay, you will reduce attachment to your ex, which will make getting over your ex easier. And you're going to be in such a better spot when you begin dating new people and building that life that's bigger and better then. Okay? Do not forget, what you focus on grows. So let's focus on how this is happening for you, not to you, every single day. All right, my beautiful brave hearts, I love you so much, and I will talk to you next time. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.